Board members, this is our time certain on tab 12, project definition and funding strategy for the Common Core Technology Project Plan and request for funding approval. Can somebody move it? Or Ms. Gallatin, did you have any comments? No. Moved by Ms. Gallatin. Is there a second? Dr. Vladovic has seconded. And we are going to start with a staff presentation.
Can I make a comment, though?
You can make a comment. Absolutely.
In today's editorial in the Daily News and in the Daily Breeze, I thought probably the most wonderful editorial I've read that explains this process. I had some doubts, and I just wanted to say I encourage all of you to read the fabulous article by my colleague Tamar Gallatin. She laid it out in a way that's very explainable, and it really just boils down to we don't have a choice. We have to do this, and Tamar said it so cogently. I just hope everyone takes the time to read that. That's all.
Thank you. Dr. Aquino.
President,
or Mr. Superintendent.
President Garcia, members of the board, Superintendent Daisy, we're delighted to give you a brief presentation on the Common Core tablet project, following up on the presentation that we had done previously, as well as the materials that we have provided to the board. And what we have decided is that we have invited staff to actually come and speak to you. And when I mean staff, we're referring to practitioners who are in the field, who actually want to talk to you about what this initiative would mean for their school communities. And we have selected some of them. I can tell you there were many principals as well as teachers who wanted to come, and I want to thank all of them for being here from their busy schedule, but we had to narrow it down. So I'm going to begin with the proud principal of Western Elementary, Ms. Betty Johnson. Betty?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, board. Thank you so much for allowing us to come today to speak with you. My name is Betty Johnson. I'm proud principal of wonderful Western Avenue Elementary School, where hard work can lead to great things. And I'm here to tell you today about how we are using tablets at our school and the limited number that we have, and how a positive vote on this initiative would absolutely affect us in many ways and allow us to continue our progress in closing the achievement gap. Western Avenue is a school that has been in PSC status for a number of years. However, within the last 2 years, our scores have increased by more than 115 points. And we are, yes, and we we stand now at about 759 points. Our goal this year is 800. We are also one of the 6 schools in this district who have the Target grant. We're a Target school, and using that Target grant, Target purchased 85 iPads for our school that we used in our academy program. Just to give you some idea of how we use the academy program, both with our students who are all of our students who are in K1. It's an academy program for K1. And so what we've done is use these tablets to use such apps as Raz Kids, ST Math, Starfall, Toontastic, and Dibbles. And I'm going to point real quickly to Dibbles. This year in Dibbles, our scores for the district for kindergarten was right about 51% proficient. For Western Avenue, 69. For first grade, 63%. This is Moy. For Western Avenue, 78%. So you can see that our tablets that we are using, and again, a very limited number. We have 106 students. We have 85 iPads. 10 of those iPads we use with our GATE students. The rest we use in our kinder and first grade programs. ST Math is another program that we've used because math is also an area that we're focusing on. ST Math for our kinder and first grade students, along with a grant we received from Verizon. We've been able to use the program on the iPad. The kids use it right there in the classroom. The teachers don't have to worry about lining them up to go to the lab. It's right there at their fingertips. And I don't want to say any more from me. I brought a student with me today. Where's my student? Real quickly.
Can we Go, okay.
Please, just let me just hear this is a first grade student. I'm sorry, this is a kindergarten student.
Well, we were
who
going to
is
hear speakers,
performing-
but go ahead.
Who is performing at, yes, can we just have,
I was trying to.
this is Derek Flores. He's in kindergarten. He's working in second grade level in math this year from using the iPad with ST Math, along with First Good Teaching.
Oh, dear.
My name is Derek Flores. I'm in Mr. Castro's room. I like the iPad. I use it because for Gigi. For reading and for the math. Yes.
I asked him if he liked using the iPad. That was the yes. So,
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. If, having visited Western, you can see some of those kindergarten and first grade, and they're actually really in the target grant, outperforming and beating the odds. I'm going to ask our principal and our staff if you can be brief, just talk about what this means to your community. I'm going to ask one of our teachers from Art Lab, Dane Olson, who wants to also, as part of our presentation, what it means from the teacher perspective.
Absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate this opportunity. Media arts teacher, Art Lab High School. The interactive multimedia tablet is adaptive to the student and to the development of their learning as a lifelong process. This is a world of ubiquitous learning and creativity available to everyone all of the time. It is truly student-centered. This supports the view that the student should be regularly placed in the position of directing their own learning and learning how to learn. 2 years ago, when my son Elijah was 8, he decided he wanted a snake. I told him, okay, develop a proposal. With a few simple directions and no instruction, he researched online every aspect of buying and owning a snake. For weeks, he took notes on various species, snake food, and habitats. Finally, he could present his arguments persuasively. But in the end, he decided that he didn't want to take a snake with him to college. The tablet is also a portable multimedia production studio, allowing students to create their own content and empowering their voices. Totally on their own, my 2 boys have produced an amazing amount of media on our iPads. Elijah, now 10, has produced about 50 hand-drawn cell animations in the past 3 months. Axel, who is 7, has already made 30, along with a lot of digital paintings, photos, and videos, audio narratives, and stop-motion animations, absolutely wild 3D sculptural car designs, and bizarre monster heads. A student that produces a documentary or narrative film has thoroughly mastered the content of their production because they've synthesized it into a multimodal cultural experience. So a news story about science will create an expert in that topic. Along with that, they will have gained skills in envisioning and developing ideas, pitching and defending scenarios, negotiating roles and responsibilities, writing and revising scripts, rehearsing lines, choreographing and shooting scenes, editing clips, and evaluating their own and others' work. The construction of an interactive educational game that can be performed on an iPad can integrate visual composition, character and environmental design, story development, game theory, spatial and temporal calculations, interactive motion physics, 3D surface rendering, programming, script writing, psychology, marketing, and the content knowledge of a historical setting. At Art Lab, a pilot high school, we will use iPads to read, dictate, be read to, do research, flip the math classroom, produce presentations and news stories, mathematical games and animations, historical documentaries, music videos, portray the local community, and even create a virtual sustainable community on Mars in a proposal to NASA scientists. Finally, students need to gain new emerging literacies in critically analyzing media and technology, including their sources and social influences, so that our students are creatively empowered as producers of their own media and points of view, and creators of their own worlds of meaning and learning. The LAUSD Media Arts Standards support that, as will coming national standards in media arts. This is an opportunity for amplified learning. So yes, every LAUSD student deserves an iPad. Thank you very much.
Just to clarify, we are going, if it's approved today, we will go for an RFP. So we are agnostic about the device. Though some of our speakers are mentioning the iPad, but we are totally agnostic. You know, we're going to bid and see which one comes and meet our criteria. I'm going to ask the principal from Paul Revere Middle School, Fern Somoza. Fern.
Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Fern Somoza, the principal of Paul Revere Affiliated Charter Middle School and Magnet Center, and I represent the students, the teachers, the parents in our community. Students come from Revere from 100 different zip codes. Our focus for the past 5 years has been continuous improvement, directly linked to the use of technology in the classroom. Revere's API has gone from 807 4 years ago to 897, with an emphasis on improving the use of technology. Yeah, we're very proud of that. Tablets in the classroom would level the playing field for all students. Tablets offer students an incentive to read, write, research, and interact with their peers. Tablets are tools that enhance instruction and student interest in discovery. The use of tablets in the classroom moves students in LAUSD into the 21st century and allows us to compete with wealthier, smaller private schools. Tablets provide opportunities for students to share and evaluate informational text, resources, and concepts through peer and teacher direct interaction in real time. Tablets will allow students to demonstrate their knowledge through the development of formative assessments, collection of current data, asking questions and defining problems, obtaining, evaluating, and communicating information. Students need this tool to enhance the learning process by developing the technological skills required in today's job market. Revere envisions a future where tablets will also offer students digital interactive textbooks, concept lessons, and intervention sites. Educational resources and extended learning opportunities will be right at a student's fingertips. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Fern. From Curtis Middle School, Ms. Gina Williams. Gina.
Good afternoon. My name is Gina Russell Williams, and I am the proud principal of Curtis Middle School. I am very excited to be here and given the opportunity to speak before you. I just have a few advantages. There's numerous, but I just want to share a few advantages the student tablets will bring to my students. They will offer them the many opportunities of receiving additional intervention and tutorial services, which will assist them in achieving academic goals. They will also assist my students with organizational and note-taking skills. There are numerous apps that will assist them with that, and that's something that my students need badly. And it also provides, it addresses all modalities of all types of learners, particularly the kinesthetic learners, which is prevalent in my population. So I urge you to strongly advocate and support this initiative. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gina. Now, the proud principal of Artes, Mr. John Lawler. John.
Welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here. Hello, everybody. My name is John Lawler. I'm the principal of Artes, located at the Cesar Chavez Learning Academies. Artes is one of the schools that's been chosen to pilot the Schools for the Future mobile device program. And we've been an advocate for a one-to-one implementation since we wrote our pilot proposal. It's my belief that many of our educators today are very good at a very old style of teaching. The educator hands down knowledge to students who absorb that knowledge and then prove their knowledge in tests. But if we're going to make advances in education, significant and radical advances, we need 21st century tools in the hands of every teacher and student, and we need to emphasize learning over knowing. The Common Core assessments require that all students take these tests online, so a one-to-one technology program is not really an option but a necessity. And while tests are great for understanding what students know, as an educator, I'm much more interested in what students learn. Let me explain. If a teacher drills information and a student reads their textbook, they can pass a test of their knowledge. But my question is, what has that student learned? A tablet is a tool for learning and creating and a gateway to information. And the real skills our graduates need are the ability to find, evaluate, critique, and synthesize that information. Think of the last time you needed to learn something. Whether it's how to make a program work on your computer, or fix your sink, or maybe take better pictures on your digital camera. Did you sign up for a class or read a textbook? Or did you do like I do? I get on the internet, and I start researching, and I get information, and I make sense of that information for myself in the way that I learn. Teachers in this century need to do three things. They need to know their students, they need to create challenges, and then provide a context for learning. Delivering information is no longer their main job. For their part, students need access to information and a personal connection to the challenges they face. When they have these, their learning will continue long after the class is dismissed. With this in mind, and with these kids' access to these kind of devices, I really strongly urge you to approve this funding for the Schools for the Future program and for the Common Core assessments. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. From Leapwood Elementary, Ms. Camelia Hudley, who's the principal.
Welcome.
Thank you, Madam President, honorable board members, Superintendent, Ms. King. It is an honor and a pleasure to be here today. I've been in LAUSD for over 20 years, and I've never had an opportunity, so I'm going to really take advantage today. The students at Leapwood Avenue School and all the other schools that are included in this initiative truly deserve to have this technology. Leapwood, I'm just going to speak from the heart, I don't have any paper. Leapwood was one of the two schools that was named in the Office of Civil Rights. The one thing that I do want to say to you, I've talked to Ms. King on several occasions about this, and I said, Ms. King, we need the technology at our school. We have a computer lab that has computers in it that are probably over 10 to 15 years old. So you can just imagine how the technology has changed through the years. We are totally behind. We do not have wireless at this time. However, if this initiative is approved, you are providing students that do not have the access to technology, you are providing them that technology and that access. You are opening a world of opportunity to children who do not have it. So I am going to encourage you to please vote for this initiative. The students in Los Angeles Unified School District, they deserve it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Hudley. And now the proud principal of 54th Street Elementary, Arlene Fortier.
Welcome.
Thank you, and good afternoon, board members, Superintendent Daisy, Happy Mardi Gras, district staff, parents, and community members. I have a short time. I'm going to talk at 90 miles an hour, so just wave at me if you don't understand what I'm saying. Ditto to everything that everybody else said. 54th Street School is an OCR school, 100% Title I, 78.8% African American, and 15% Hispanic. So the contributions I want to make to why this is important are these. Brain-based research tells us that children's brains today are different from the brains our brains were in the past, and that because our children's lifestyles are different and their exposure to multimedia has literally changed the way their brains are functioned. So they can no longer focus for long periods of time doing repetitive activities. Their brain requires novelty, and it requires its speed. Today's society is a global technological society that demands that people can compete globally. So it becomes very important that if we're educating our children for their future and not our past, that they have to be global experts and technological experts. At my school, we're really clear about what technology could do for us. We too have a lab that is half the time not functional. We are in the process of getting, by next year, we should have the wireless. When we watch our kids on one computer in a classroom or in the lab on one of the computers that works, their focus is almost a hyper focus. Our ADD and ADHD kids are so totally different. They don't want to get off. They love doing the educational program. So what that tells our staff and I that we have to change drastically what we do for 6 hours a day in the classroom when we're trying to improve our students. So your approval of this initiative, from my point of view, is absolutely critical. It will allow my teachers to utilize technology throughout the day and allow us to use programs like Imagine Learning and ST Math to completely individualize instruction for the students as part of the instructional day, not part of just in an intervention program. And I'm about what we do instructionally, not just about intervention. We have money for professional development. What we don't have is money for the hardware. My staff and I are paying a lot of attention. They're getting ready to go visit schools that are using iPads. We have polyvision boards, which are generic smart boards that half the time our computers aren't working or teachers are bringing in their own laptops. But when they do those lessons, the student level of engagement goes 150%. We know the value of having an iPad, a notebook, or whatever this will be, to have it in a child's hand every day for 6.6 hours a day to become an integral part of our instruction. We know what it will do. So we ask, I'm imploring you to please give us what we need so we can do what you ask of us, which is to successfully improve the academic achievement of all students, and in particular, to improve that achievement for children of color. We have the knowledge, and we can talk the talk. We need to be able to walk the walk, and that's what I'm imploring you about today. We need you to give us the tools. My staff and I don't want to talk about it anymore. We want to be about it. We want to be about the work that will educate our children. Right now, we are PI1, and we don't intend to be PI long. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Arlene. Our final staff member is the proud principal of the Valley Academy of Arts and Science, Ms. Debbie McIntyre. Deborah McIntyre. I call it Debbie.
It's good. I like
Welcome.
Debbie. It's like being at home. Hello, everybody. As Dr. Aquino said, I'm Deborah McIntyre-Storino. I am the very, very proud principal of Valley Academy of Arts and Sciences. We are located in the ESC North under the direction of Superintendent Del Cueto. Our school is the fortunate school to have been the pilot school that has received one-on-one technology. So I need to share with you what has occurred. The change to my school culture that this technology brought was dramatic and immediate. We issued iPads to the students over a 3-day period in the evenings. The next day when they came to school, it was clear that instruction at my school would never be the same. The classrooms went from places of fairly traditional instruction with teachers leading the work to places in which students are fully engaged in the learning process. Teachers immediately realized that, as one teacher puts it, our students have all of the information in the world in their fingertips, and they have to change the way that they teach. They have to provide students with opportunities to explore and guide their own learning. This teacher, he even brought his students to this discovery, and he explained to them Bloom's taxonomy. He walked them through the pyramid. He talked to them about the difference between knowledge-based questions and what synthesis and analysis looks like in a classroom. The teachers are modeling for their students how messy learning can be by being very, very public with their own learning on their iPads, this new tool that they have. Just last week, I was in a classroom, and the teacher was working with his SDP kids on 1984. As part of the lesson, he said, I'm going to try out this new app. It's called Prezi, so we'll see how it goes. I've never used it before. So he walked through the presentation, and it went pretty fine until he got to the part where he had tried to upload some video. And you know how you do that, and you push it, and it doesn't go, and you push it, and you push it, and you push it again. Well, the kids are like, wait, stop, we can help. So he turned the technology over to the students, and they did. They got it all going. And this is just a little example, one quick little snapshot of my school. But I think it demonstrates the point that this technology has created a dynamic learning environment. It continues to evolve as we work with this, and it invites meaningful collaboration between the students and the teachers. The teachers, from the very, very first week, begged for extra professional development. Begged for it. So together they decided Friday afternoons, without pay, they would get together and direct professional development in and around this new tool. Yeah. So I think it's also important to stress what the other ladies had talked about. These iPads, these one-on-one devices, have really been a great equalizer for our kids. You know, not every student in my school has access to technology every day, and those that do don't necessarily know how to use them. But I think that this program will really, truly make all of our students ready for the world of 21st century work and school. And I think all of our kids need to have this opportunity. So I ask you, please, let's leverage all of our students and all of our schools so that they're ready to move forward in their learning and their work. And I'd like to introduce Ms. Kim Thompson. She's one of my parents, and she just wanted to sort of share the parent perspective.
Welcome.
Hi, my name's Kim Thompson, and not only am I a parent, but I'm also the Parent Center Director. And I just want to say that because of the bond money, the oversight money, our schoolwork has been extended beyond the traditional learning environment. Having, and I can only speak for iPads because that's the tablet that we got at our school, has given every family access to computers, those who have never had it before. We have families who have told us the first day that they had to stand in line for 30 minutes just to get 30 minutes at the library on a computer. We have kids in our school who refuse to speak to the teacher one-on-one or raise their hand, who can do it with a click of a button. And so there's a lot more interaction. And the last thing is the schoolwork, homework. They'll get their homework done before they leave because they can turn it in. You know, I don't know why kids, my own son himself, will take his homework home and never turn it in. He does it. So this allows them to turn it in, and that's all I have to say. I agree with everybody else, and I ask you to vote in our favor. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kim. So that's board president and board members. That's what we decided to do, as opposed to do a formal presentation, is bring the voices of the field from our principals and teachers, so you can hear of the possibility, the miracles that this Common Core technology project will bring to LAUSD. And I will be remiss if I don't acknowledge the amazing team who has been working behind this under the leadership of Matt Hill, our Chief Strategy Officer, Ron Chandler, a Chief Technology Officer, and Mark Hovatter, our Chief Facility Officer, and Gerardo Loera, my Executive Director for Curriculum and Instruction. And kudos to them. I also want to acknowledge Board Member Gallatin, because her expanding the digital ed resolution that was passed about a year and a half, I think it was, Ms. Gallatin, really propelled us to really look forward into the 24th century. Yeah. Thank you very much.
We'll clap for board members too. Hey, Superintendent, that was a wonderful treat hearing the leadership of our district come and express themselves. So I know, board members, we have public comment, and Mr. Crane, we moved and seconded the item. I think that's right.